Hey guys, before we get started with this video, I would just like to say if you're enjoying my content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and give that notification bell a big ol' smack for me. It helps the channel out a lot. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video.
Toxic people. Everybody's favorite kind of person. I think all of us have dealt with a toxic person at least once in our lifetimes, especially if you come from the wonderful world called the internet, which I'm guessing 99.9% of you watching are from. But if you're in that 0.01%, I'm sure you've still dealt with a toxic person before. I think we all have. And they're always a pleasure, aren't they? So I know most of you are here for trolling videos, but this is one of the rare times where I need to come out and make a serious video. So please give this video a chance, alright? I know you're here for trolling and for laughs and whatnot, but please give this video a chance, alright? If you're wondering what game I'm playing on screen right now, it is a game called The Underground War, and I suck at it. I just needed something to put on screen while I talk. So enjoy watching me suck at playing The Underground War, and listening to me talk about this. So anyways, without any further ado, let's get into this. So Barney, why are you talking about this? This is so random for you to come out of nowhere with a video about dealing with toxic people. What happened? Well, I had just finished recording a bunch of videos. I was multiple videos ahead of schedule. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna take a couple days to just relax, get some R&R, and get some well-deserved me time, you know? So I was doing just that, just messing around, doing my own thing, until I got a message from somebody. So it was a really long message, so I was like, okay, I gotta see what's going on here. So I'm not gonna read the whole message, because again, it's very long, so I'll basically try to summarize it for you. So essentially this person said, "Hey Barney, I was someone who was featured in a past video of yours," so meaning somebody I had trolled on video. So this immediately got my attention. And this person said, "Hey, I found the video very funny. I'm not really mad about being in the video, but I would like to inform you that because of that video, I have been on the receiving end of some less than ideal attention as a result of it." Now, this video this person was talking about was several months old at this point. So the fact that this person's bringing it up to me now, several months later, is a bit concerning, because this leads me to believe that this person's probably still being on the receiving end of that kind of treatment. And it turns out I was right about that. So basically I said, "Hey, I apologize that you're dealing with this. I want to help here. So if you could just provide me with as much information as possible about your situation, I will do what I can in my power to try and help you here." So this person basically said, "Well, I work at blank cafe," as I knew because, you know, I had trolled this person at that cafe in a previous video. And the nameless person, okay, I'm not going to call them the nameless person, that's a weird name, I'm just trying to keep them anonymous. The person said that whenever they try to join the cafe for their shifts, people will follow them into the game just to mess with them. And they also said that they are certain that they are fans of mine because they would mention my name whenever they mess with her, saying things like, "Oh, you were disrespectful to Barney, our king." So yeah, that should remove any doubts about the fact that, yeah, these people were harassing her because of me, basically. Now, of course, I didn't mean for that to happen, but it's what happened, unfortunately. So, I, of course, apologized, again, for that, and I said, "Well, why don't you just, I don't know, turn your joins off?" And this person said, "Well, unfortunately, due to some extreme circumstances, they can't turn their joins off." I asked why, and they explained it to me. Now, I'm not gonna explain why, because I don't know if this person wants me to share that information, but all I will say about it is that, yes, it's kind of a special case, and they cannot turn their joins off. So, people basically are always going to be able to join them in-game no matter what. So that's a bit of a problem. So the person said that they didn't want me to take the video down. That's not what they wanted. What they really wanted was for me to be more mindful of what can happen as a result of the videos I make. And that is a very good point, because I do already do that. But unfortunately, I'm human. There's only so much I can do, you know what I mean? I cut out quite a bit from my videos before I upload them. Like, if somebody does something in game when I'm trolling them that I feel like is gonna get hate sent their way, like they're extremely disrespectful or says something extremely stupid that I know is gonna tick people off, I remove it from the video entirely. You guys just don't know that because, well, I remove it from the video so it doesn't show up in the final upload. You guys just don't see that, but I do take measures to try to avoid this kind of thing from happening. Or keep this kind of thing from happening. That would be the proper wording for that sentence. I said, well, basically, if you don't want me to take the video down, then what do you want me to do? And they said, well, just be more mindful about this. So I said, okay, that's fair. That is fair. So what I did for this person is I said, well, if there's nothing I can really do to help you, what I can do is try to give you advice on how to deal with toxic people like that. And I figured, you know what? I think a great way to approach this situation is to not only show this person how to deal with toxic people, but why don't I try to tell everyone how to do it? Because I'm sure she's not the only person who has dealt with toxic people. In fact, I kind of introed this video by saying that everybody's dealt with them. And I have quite a bit of experience dealing with toxic people. If you've watched Decade in the Making, then you know how much experience I have dealing with it. But if you haven't seen it, all I'm going to say is that, yeah, I have a lot of experience dealing with them. And on top of all of that, when I was younger, I was kind of toxic myself. So, not only do I have experience dealing with them, but I used to be a toxic person, so I know how they work. So, who better to tell you how to beat a toxic person than someone who has dealt with them and was once one themselves. So I think I know quite a bit about them. So, let's jump into this. How to deal with toxic people. Now, this is the solution I think everyone has heard, right? Ignore them. Now, this isn't just going to be a rant about ignoring someone, you know? Well, I mean, it is and it isn't, okay? You'll see what I mean in a second. Everyone's told you just ignore somebody. But what I think people don't tell people about is what can happen after that. Now, this isn't all the time. This is not a blanket statement, but this, again, is coming from someone who used to be a toxic person himself and has dealt with toxic people. So, I kind of know how they work, like I've said. I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you. Sometimes when toxic people get ignored, they will get bored and leave, yes. But other times, they'll view it as a challenge. They'll view it as something that they gotta overcome. Because a lot of times, toxic people have huge egos. I think that comes as a surprise to nobody, right? That toxic people have huge egos. So they're not going to give up that easily. Just because they get ignored for a little while, they're going to keep on going. Like, oh, you're trying to ignore me? You're trying to use that old trick? Nope, that's not going to work on me. I'm just going to double down on what I'm doing. Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, Barney, if ignoring them only makes them want to double up on you, then what hope is there? If ignoring doesn't work, what hope is there? Well, hold on there, Buckaroony. I never said that ignoring doesn't work. I'm just telling you what can happen as a result. So, if people are being persistent in, screwing with you, even after you're ignoring them, what do? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. You be even more persistent, but persistent in ignoring them. You gotta match and exceed their persistence. You got to be even more persistent than they are in ignoring them. When they come at you, don't even say anything. Don't even say ... Don't say okay. No reaction whatsoever. Because, again, something people probably tell you all the time is that toxic people are out for reactions or out for attention. It's true. As cliche as it is to say, it's true. So when you don't give them those reactions, sometimes they'll leave quickly. Other times, they'll try harder to get those reactions out of you because, well, egotistical people tend to be kind of people that don't give up that easily, like I said. So, you gotta be really solid and immovable, like a rock. Solid and immovable in your stance on ignoring them. And I've had experience with this. When I was dealing with toxic people, a lot of times they were ridiculously persistent. As a matter of fact, one time, when I was dealing with a group of people that were harassing me, I had to ignore them for months before they finally got the hint. Because they were trying so hard to get reactions out of me. They had thrown everything they knew at me to try to get under my skin. Until finally they were like, dude, we've exhausted everything. We've tried everything we can. and it's still not working. So why are we going to waste our time, effort, and energy on this dude if everything we have isn't going to work? Let's move on to somebody who will give us the reactions we want, and we don't have to, like, sacrifice brain cells just to get a small reaction out of them for. So it took a while for them to get to that conclusion, but because, like I said, I was solid, strong, and immovable in my stance about ignoring them, they finally got the hint. But it didn't happen overnight. Now, again, this is not going to be something that's going to happen all the time. Sometimes toxic people are quick to give up because these people just, maybe they're not that dedicated to whatever they're doing, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes they'll give up after a couple days, or it might take several months. It could even take an hour. You don't know. You don't know what it could be. It depends on the person. Nobody's the same. I'm just telling you, in the situation or the case where somebody is insanely persistent, you gotta match their persistence. You gotta match it. That's the only way to get a persistent person to stop, is by matching their persistence. Being just as persistent as they are, just in ignoring them. Now, you also have to make sure that if you ever are talking about the people that are coming at you, because, you know, sometimes people like to talk about this sort of thing where you're dealing with drama or toxic people. You know, it's kind of what people do nowadays. We like to talk about drama, but don't do it in a public setting. And make sure it's only with someone that you trust, because you don't want it to, A, get spread around, because B, if it does get spread around, it could get to the ears of the people that you're talking about. And if these people hear that you're talking about them, that's going to egg them on. That's only going to encourage them. Like, sometimes people like to say, like, oh, these people like being hated. That's kind of why they do what they do. Yeah, they do like it. That's what's going to egg them on, because it's showing them that, oh, they might be ignoring me when I talk to them, but behind my back, they're talking about me, so I know I'm getting to them. So hey, even if they ignore me, I know I'm still getting to them. So that will only give them more encouragement. So if you're going to talk about these people, do it in a private setting, or with someone that you trust, that you know will not leak it out. And really the best way to ensure that it doesn't get leaked out or get to their ears is don't talk about them, because then you know for certain that it won't get back to them, because you haven't said anything. So there's nothing to get leaked back to them. So that is very important. Like, for example, I told this person, hey, I know you're a cafe barista, so you don't really have the luxury of always being able to ignore them, because when they come up to your counter, you at the very least have to greet them. You know, it's kind of how that industry works. When someone comes up to your counter, you have to greet them. So they don't have the luxury of being able to just completely shut them out. So what I said to them is, hey, in the case where they come up to you, just screenshot what they do, and when you report them to an admin, make sure to whisper to that admin. That way, the only person that can see you reporting them is you and the admin you're reporting them to. Because if they see that you're reporting them, that's going to egg them on, because they'll find that amusing or funny, you know? And that will, like I said, encourage them more. Now, this isn't just limited to cafe baristas, you know? If you're out here reporting somebody for, you know, harassing you or something, make sure that these people can't see that. Because if you do that, that's going to egg them on. If you let them see that you're reporting them, that's only going to egg them on and encourage them. So if you have the ability, make sure when you're reporting them to make sure it's only between you and the person you're reporting them to. And of course, have evidence, because that's kind of important. So this goes beyond just Roblox, you know? Because, you know, in Roblox, it's kind of easy to report someone, because all you really have to do is just walk up to an admin who's in-game there with you and just whisper to them. And then sometimes it will move over to Discord, but, you know, it's fairly simple in Roblox. Whereas in other games, it may not be that simple. So, you know, it's relative to where it's happening, you know? But, you know, I'm a Robloxian, so the best advice I can give is based on what happens in Roblox. You know what I mean? I can't believe I used that word, Robloxian. Now, back to my point on being persistent in ignoring people. This is not going to be easy. Especially when I described it the way I did, where I said, oh, this could take several months. Yeah, that sounds scary to people, I'm sure. But it's really the only way. It's the only way. Now again, like I said, this is not a blanket statement. Maybe you're going to end up dealing with a toxic person who's going to give up after I don't know, a week, maybe less. Maybe it'll only take a few days. Maybe just ignoring them once will get them to stop. I'm just saying, in the case where somebody is that persistent, you gotta be as persistent as they are, alright? I'm just gotta make that clear, because I don't want to scare anybody, you know what I mean? I'm just telling you what can happen and how to deal with it. But anyways, that's kind of all I really said to this person, is that, hey, if they come at you, be persistent, and when you ignore them, make sure they can't see it, you know what I mean? So, that's really the advice I gave this person, and they said, yeah, I will definitely apply this advice. And of course I asked the person, hey, do you want me to take this video down? And they were like, no, I don't need you to do that. As long as you're being more mindful about this from now on, that's all I care about. And I was like, okay, I will definitely do that. Now, I would also like to say, if you end up dealing with harassment from people as a result of my videos, please do reach out to me, because I do want to help. I do want to help. But anyway, guys, with that said, that's all I've got for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I would definitely like to hear you guys' thoughts on this matter. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and of course make sure to check out my second channel and my Twitter account, both found in the description below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time in a trolling video. Bye!